everybody, it's Ms. Dobek checking in for day 3 of our Mental Health Awareness Week videos. I wanted to just talk a little bit about mental health and the impact it has on our physical health. So a lot of us are aware of, mental health having some anxiety, depression, or anger, or, things of that nature. But a lot of people aren't aware that when we are having mental health issues, that also affects our physical health. So we know that when we have mental health, and especially if that never gets treated, that can lead to a variety of physical health issues, anything from minimal stuff like maybe some backaches, digestive issues, some body pains, and things like that, to much more significant things like heart issues, blood pressure issues, which of course we know can lead to, heart attacks and strokes and some major health issues. So I wanted to just point out that our mental health and our physical health are very much connected. They both have an impact on each other, and as well as our physical health also impacts our mental health. If we're really struggling with some physical health issues, that can impact our mental health also. So we just want to be really aware that there is a connection there. The other thing I wanted to just mention today, and why mental health awareness is so important, is that we are continuing to see an increase in mental health concerns, mental health related disorders, and then also physical symptoms because of mental health. So we really want to make sure that we're, just getting all this information out there, especially during Mental Health Awareness Week, so that we're educating people and we can continue to work on making this a more common topic, something that you can talk about, something that you feel comfortable reaching out for with support or help or assistance when needed. All right, guys, so we're going to move on from that today to our disorder that we're going to talk about today. And this disorder is the second highest in our country. Like I talked about yesterday, anxiety is by far the biggest. Depression disorders are the second largest. And depending on what source you look at, it's anywhere from estimated about 4% to 7% of Americans have a diagnosable depression disorder in any given year. So again, still a very significant amount of people in our country. So I wanted to just talk about that disorder a little bit today. A lot of you are probably aware, again, of some of the most common symptoms, right? And that is just feeling down, feeling sad, crying quite a bit, things like that. But there's also some other symptoms to it that maybe we're not quite as familiar with, and that can be, sleeping too much, or it can also be sleeping too little. It can be eating too much or eating too little. So there's a variety of things. What we're really looking for is changes. So changes in weight, changes in, food consumption, changes in sleeping patterns, things like that. And it also, with depression, it tends to be where people pull away from their support system. So they're no longer really interested in maybe spending time with the people that they normally did, and things like that. Also, a loss in interest of things. So maybe before they were a really good student, really interested in making sure their grades were, decent and things like that. And maybe they just don't really care about those kinds of things anymore, or like sports, or, just activities, things like that. So the loss of interest in things is another big warning sign of that there may be a depression disorder there. Same thing with anxiety, is that we are going to all experience depression at times in our lives. So that's normal. We're humans. We're going to have these symptoms at times. So when we are going through a life change, maybe again, a breakup, or maybe this being a little bit more isolated and things like that. There's a lot of different reasons why we may experience some depression in our lives. That's normal. What we really want to watch out for is if those symptoms start to become a regular pattern and they're lasting for more than a few weeks, a month, maybe even longer. That's where we start to be concerned that, okay, this isn't just maybe a situational thing. This is looking like it may be becoming a disorder for this person. So, again, no matter where you're at, even if it's just a situational thing, there are coping skills, there are things you can do to help with the depression, to try to pull yourself out of it. Really not an easy thing, because with that depression, it does make us have less energy, less motivation, things like that. So it is really hard to kind of pull ourselves out of it. But that's where you want to be able to reach out to those support systems you have in your life and say, I need a little help right now. I need some help with getting going, getting out of this kind of funk that I'm in with some depressive feelings and things like that. If you're not able to pull yourself out within a few weeks of having some of these depressive feelings, symptoms, things like that, that's when you really want to start reaching out for some treatment and some help. Because depression, can lead to some scary things if it's not treated and it's not kind of managed. So you want to, as soon as possible, get some treatment, get some support. One of the great things to do is just start by going to your doctor. They can, help you out. They're going to ask you some questions, and they can help you out with setting up with therapy or things like that. There's also, again, all kinds of hotlines and websites in our state, even in our country, that you can use. We have some local ones here as well. One of the big ones is there is a crisis line if you're feeling, that you're just feeling overwhelmed with the depressive symptoms, and you can text to 741-741, and there will be a trained mental health professional that responds back to you and can help you get set up with whatever treatment you need. As always, you can always reach out to me too. I'm available to help with resources, referrals, things like that. The big thing is, getting treatment. And I do just want to mention, and sorry, this is a little bit of a dark topic today with depression and things like that, but we do know that depression is one of the disorders that is more common to lead to suicidal thoughts. So if at any point you are having any type of suicidal thoughts, you want to reach out immediately. There are local crisis lines. You can Google your county and the crisis line and call them. There's trained professionals in your county that can talk to you. They can even come to your home if you need. Again, you can text that crisis line, reach out, and just make sure you're getting the treatment you need. We do know that on average, 129 Americans die by suicide every day, and we really want to do a better job with that. So Mental Health Awareness Week, definitely focusing on mental health, but we also want to look at some of those numbers and think, okay, we need to do a little bit better. So please reach out. Please help with reducing the stigma so that people who need it can reach out and feel more comfortable getting the treatment they need. If you think you are starting to struggle with any of this, depression symptoms, or if you see a family member struggling with depression symptoms, don't be afraid to say something to them. They may be waiting for that person to just say, hey, I've noticed you haven't been feeling yourself lately. I'm concerned. What can I do to help you? Just keep helping each other, getting that support. And if you need it, definitely reach out for some support, some treatment, some help, things like that too. All right, guys, so that is my conversation on depression today. I want to end just very briefly with our 7th grade project that we did with some of the celebrities and things like that have depressive disorder and are open about it. So number one here, I have Jim Carrey. So he is open about his struggle with depression, and we tend to see people, comedians, and things like that, sometimes that's their way of covering some of the depressive symptoms. So you want to be careful, even with those people who tend to be funny and things like that in life. Really listen, and they'll let you know if they're feeling some depression and things like that. But it might be just a little harder to detect. But still check in with those people too, and just say, hey, how you doing? Okay. Another one of the celebrities is Beyonce. So she, again, is open about her depression disorder. Again, very successful woman, mom, actress, singer. You are able to live a very full, fulfilling life with these disorders. We just need to make sure you're getting the treatment and the help that you need and the support that you need to be able to do that. And then the last one is The Rock, Dwayne Johnson. So he also has depressive disorder. But again, getting treatment and things like that, you can recover. You can lead a full life. We just want to make sure that you guys are getting the support you need. So if you need, just reach out. All right, guys, I will check in with you tomorrow. See ya.